Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we are taking a look at the Resident Evil 4 remake. Yes, they've done it again. They've taken one of our favouriteest survival horror games and made it a new one out of it. Well, I say a new one, it's not really new. It actually stays pretty close to the original. Although, I must confess I never completed that. I got past the... I think I got past the El Gigante fight, the first one. But that was about it for the PS2 version that I played. I also have it on PC, the original. But getting off topic, so Capcom have a, in my opinion, stellar track record when they're remaking Resident Evil. Perhaps with the significant addendum that their multiplayer offerings haven't been so good, and like in I can't remember what it's called. It's like Reverse or Reunion, or those ones, the sort of bolt-on modes that come along with the games. But overall, Capcom do an absolutely fantastic job. I know there were some complaints about the length of Resident Evil 3, the remake, and yeah, there were some sections missing, but I still enjoyed my time with it. I had a good fun run through with that game, and I've completed it several times after that. So, I liked it. Resident Evil 4 specifically has you being Leon Kennedy, who also appeared in Resident Evil 2, and you're dispatched to rescue the president's daughter from a Spanish cult. I don't really want to go too much into the story, although, it's very similar to the first one. Well, not the first one, but the original. So if you've played that, you're gonna be pretty familiar with how it goes. They have switched some stuff up. Like your Wolfie mate, you don't meet him right at the start this time. He's a bit further in, and you meet Luis in a different place as well. It kind of suckers you in, thinking it's that part, but it turns out to be slightly different.
Sorry to barge
and it's really well done. The combat is fucking excellent in this, and it's got the whole melee thing that you would expect being a remake of Resident Evil 4. Where you can stun them and melee them like you could in 5 and 6 as well. But it just does it really well. And your knives are a lot more usable because you can parry with them and attack with them. And, just being down to your knife isn't always the death sentence that it usually is in Resident Evil games. Although, it depends what you're fighting, I guess. And this suplex is indeed back, although I did manage to pull it off in my footage collection, so we'll have a look at that right now. If you don't see it right now, it's because it fit in with the amount of footage I'm showing. I was quite pleased with myself. The way you do it is you shoot them in the legs while they're on their knees, go around behind them, and then melee them from there, and you should suplex them. So it's in, it's just you have to do it from a very specific position. The multiple complaints I've always heard about the original was the fact that you had to escort Ashley around, who's the president's daughter that you were there for, so you find her, and there's a lot of the game where she's with you. And it is the same in this game. She is with you for a lot of the games and keeps getting kidnapped. She gets kidnapped more than Princess fucking Peach. But you get understand. But while she's there, she's actually not too bad. She doesn't have a life gauge, so it's not a simple matter of her losing her life and then dying and then game over. She'll go into like a down state where you have to resuscitate her, pick her up, i.e. resuscitate. And once you've done that, she's back up and going again, so it's not a problem. So she never feels like that much of a handicap, and she can prove useful in like solving puzzles and opening doors for you. There are a few instances where you can tell her to hide in a locker when there's a tougher fight coming up, so you don't always have to, worry about her getting hit. You can concentrate on like dealing with an intense threat yourself, which is good. You have two control options. I believe there were more in the original game, so they've kind of like streamlined it. I'll say, I wouldn't say dumbed it down because I think it works just fine. You can have her follow closely, or you can have her follow loosely. I tend to keep it on close, just because, then I know where she is. I don't have to worry about her getting mauled on the other side of the room. I did have like one or two game overs where she was carried off and I couldn't work out where they'd taken her. So, I'm fucking dumb. Whatever.
What was that?
And by the time I worked it out, it was too late. She was gone. She's like gets dragged through a door with a scream, and then gets kidnapped like 10 minutes later and taken off anyway. So it's whatever. The tone of the game, I think, it's a little bit darker than the original. At least what I've played of the original. So it's more horror focused. I mean, like when you started in the original, you went to a house at the beginning. It was just a house. It looks like some sort of murder cabin. So. Yeah, very good that they've like amped up the horror. The shopkeeper's there again. Yay! Slightly different voice. I'm pretty sure it's a South African accent they're using. I'm not sure what it was in the first one. It was kind of that. I'm not quite sure. So you buy your weapons. There are several opportunities to find the weapons that he offers as well, so you don't necessarily have to buy them, but then you can upgrade them. And once you fully upgrade a gun, you will unlock like a further upgrade that will do like 1.5 times damage now, or something like that. Which you either pay buku money for, or you get a ticket where you can open it up. So that's very good. You have shooting challenges. Honestly, can't remember if they were in the original, but I think they were from what I've heard. You go in, you get tickets. You can spend it in a ticket machine, which will give you charms to add to your attaché case, which will give you certain benefits. Or you can use it to, I think, upgrade your weaponry as well. Some will require.
Copy that.
I literally finished it and like a couple of days back. I can't remember some of it. That's awful. My brain is just not what it used to be, I'm afraid. Ada is back. No spoiler there. We all know she's in this game, and she looks fine. Oh yes, I very much appreciate her look and her new outfit. Her new outfit is this kind of red sweater dress kind of thing. I've always had a soft spot up. I say soft, but a spot for sweater dresses ever since I saw Taking Care of Business, or if in UK File Facts, with Laurie Loughlin in that blue one. I'll stick a picture up now, and I know I've got one because I've already found it. What can I say? I'm proud. So there you go. That's what that looked like. So I was very appreciative of Ada's outfit this time around. I also think they've improved her face since the last game as well. Well, Resident Evil 2 Remake. I think she looks a lot hotter. So yes, very nice indeed. I was very pleased to see Ada. Sorry, I'm just thinking about Ada. Shouldn't do that. Got a game review. Yeah, but the combat is great. The tone has been darkened. There's less of the silliness, but there's still everything you would expect from a Resident Evil 4 remake. So you've still got the bad guys that you're familiar with. I'll try and keep it low key. The types of common enemies as well as the bosses, and there's some really good little tricks that they've used. Like things that you could do in the original game are still there, but they're slightly changed just to throw you off a bit. So yeah, that. Certainly some of the weapons seem to be much different. There is a lot of weaponry in the game. I haven't unlocked it all yet. I have got most of it and upgraded most of it, so because I'm a sucker for punishment, yes. You won't see that in my playthrough footage here. I've just done that as a vanilla new game to try and keep like any potential weapon spoilers away from you if you're worried about that sort of thing. But I'm having an absolute blast with it, and when I was capturing the footage, I captured way too much footage because I was just having so much fun playing it still. And this is on the back of completing my first run, which took me about 18.5 hours. Now, I didn't get everything, I didn't do everything. This was just me sort of going through the story and doing the side stuff if it was convenient. I'll do another playthrough when I can pick up more of the side stuff. That is one of the things that they have introduced in this new version, is you'll find little notes around the place, little blue notes. And on them will be missions, like, you remember the blue medallions that you could shoot in the village? Well, that's one of them. In fact, they use the blue medallions like a couple times more, so you can have like more areas. And once you've done that, you've got ones where you need to like kill rats or take out a monstrous dog, things like that, and then you turn them into the shopkeeper and he gives you rewards for it, which is pretty damn good. You can also upgrade your attaché case, which is what you carry everything around with. You don't actually see it in game, it's just your inventory screen basically, so you can make it bigger. You can get different types as well, which will affect the enemy drop rates. Like the one you start with has the enemy drop more handgun ammo, for instance. But by the time you're later in the game, you might want shotgun shells or magnum rounds, you know, or something else completely. Maybe more money so you can upgrade your biffers. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, it is a longish game. I mean, I was kind of ready for... I don't want to say I was kind of ready for it to be over. Because I was enjoying every minute of my playthrough of it. So that saying I wanted it to be over is a little bit misleading, but I did feel it was a bit long. It just kept going. The last one I played where I felt like that was Uncharted 4. When you sort of get to the pirate town, it just keeps going and going, and you're like, oh my god. I remember that because when we reviewed the PS4 version of it when it came out, it was like the Friday night and we were filming the next day and I needed to finish the game so we could review it properly. So I was like, okay, well, I've got like 4 hours now, so I'll do that, and you know, I get the game finished nice and quick and I'll be able to review it. And it just kept going. I think it took me about another 6 hours. I was like, I got to go to bed, go away, game. But it was that sort of thing where I mean, for people that are familiar with the entirety of Resident Evil 4, then it's probably not going to be a surprise because you're obviously going to know the story beats. You'll be like, well, this hasn't happened yet. But when I was unfamiliar, it just kept like going and going and going. And you know, you're like, okay, well, obviously he's a bad guy. I haven't fought him yet. Is this going to... No, that's not him. That's just like these funky white dudes in body bags. So, yeah, I mean, for someone like me who doesn't really have that much nostalgia for the original, purely because, I mean, I had it. I just never really played it very much. I don't know why. It was fine. I just didn't. I don't know. But for me, because I don't have that attachment, like the things it changed or the things it doesn't do that I'm completely unaware of and probably glossing over, never bother me because I'm ignorant. Just all round ignorant. But yep, I mean, if you liked any of the Capcom remakes, you're going to love this. I mean, it is up there. I still think the Resident Evil 2 remake is my preference over this. But I do have a nostalgic connection to that one because I did complete Resident Evil 2 back in the day. In fact, let me tell you the Resident Evil games I've completed because I actually own all the mainline stuff and some of the side stuff as well. So Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation, didn't complete it. Got to the part with the hunters, took my head off rather quickly, pissed me off, stopped playing. Resident Evil 2, finished, yep. Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, PlayStation, finished. Resident Evil 4, we've discussed that. Resident Evil 5, which had a horrible demo, by the way. I played the demo for it on my PS3, and I was not impressed. I wasn't planning on getting it. And then I got it anyway, because I'm stupid and have impulse control issues. And ended up, I enjoyed the game far more. I don't think it's a very good Resident Evil game, but I think it is a good game. Because it's just... People say Resident Evil 4 is horror action, and 5 is very much action. And 6 is more of the same, except... 6... I don't want to slate it, because I do enjoy it when I play it, but it's much more action-focused, like 5. It does sort of have a slightly more horror-orientated in Leon's campaign, which is most of the ones that feature zombies, but I don't think they feature any of the others. But it is a good game. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not Resident Evil, really, because it's just shooty, monsty game thing, because where they've sort of switched from zombies to bioweapons rather than, it's kind of like, it takes away from Resident Evil in the spirit for me. Anyway, so that's 6. 7 I've completed, which was the one with Ethan Winter's first game. That was probably one of the scarier ones, just because of the first-person viewpoint and the sort of unknown as you went into it, and it was just this creepy house. You were like, And at the end, it becomes like full-blown Umbrella Corporation Resident Evil shit at the end. And Village, which was a complete departure. I mean, I like the game. I've reviewed it if you want to watch it. You can watch it. But in fact, we've done 7 as well. But yeah, I just having like the fairy tale aspect and the mythical creatures rather than, you know, zombies and what have you. It just made it a little bit different, and you know, it's again, it's. I don't think the first-person ones are particularly my favourite. I prefer the third-person ones, like Resident Evil 4 Remake. Don't know why. I do think the modding community with a male protagonist is going to be a bit less active than in 2 and 3. Purely because, you know, modders like making kinky shit for women to wear. Now, that's not to say that Leon is being shortchanged in any way. I've already seen a mod with a horrifically large dingleberry, and, you know, you could get it in both excited and unexcited versions, so that's nice for the ladies, I suppose. Oh, dear. I said that to my brother-in-law, just to horrify him. It's quite funny. No, I didn't. I cut off the dingleberry. I was just like, yep, there you go. I've cut off the dingleberry. You can thank me later. Didn't actually cut it off. I'm not a bobbit. But off topic. Let's go back on. So that's sort of my mainline series experience, and obviously Revelations 1 and 2. I haven't completed either of those. I got very close in Revelations 1. Resident Evil 0, I've played that. Not completed it. It's just... Again, Resident Evil 1 Remake. Got it. Haven't completed it. It's like those games are just like, I'm like, I must complete those. I must find time at some point to complete this. I just never find time. It's very annoying. It's because they keep remaking the bastards, I suppose. I'm just like, okay, I'll play that. Code Veronica X, got that on PS2. Not completed it, funnily enough. We were all expecting it, but there you go. I have played like the one of the gun games as well, which was Dad's at the time. That was good fun, and because we're not in America, we actually had the ability to use the gun. Because obviously there was a school shooting or something over there, so they dropped the gun compatibility from the American version and just use a joypad, which is just, you know, it's obviously tragic, but come on, light guns are cool, man. So yeah, that was actually good fun. I enjoyed that. Didn't complete it. I should just like, it'd be just be quicker to say the ones I did. And I played, I think Raccoon City Core, Umbrella Corps, is it? The squad-based shooty one, which was a bit tragic and rubbish. I played that. Didn't complete it, but there you go. I don't think you can complete that one, can you? I don't know. I didn't really pay much attention to it. It wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination. Anyways, if you've listened to me waffle on for this long, thank you very much. Resident Evil 4 is a fantastic game. I would highly recommend purchasing it. I didn't. It was gifted to me, so thank you very much. You know who you are. Much appreciated. And I got a video out of it as well, so 18 hours of my life got and a video, so it was money well spent, my friend. Thank you. But with that, I'll let you guys go and take it easy. I'll catch you next time.